There are hundreds of LEGO sets that retire every year. As a LEGO investor, I try to be as thorough as possible and research every set that's slated to retire so that I don't miss out on the best investments. Unfortunately, it's impossible to catch all of the best sets for investing each year. There are plenty of sets that retired last year that are performing well that I didn't buy. In this video, I'll be going over a handful of sets that retired in 2023 that have risen in price significantly, but I didn't buy for investing. I'll discuss my reasoning for why I didn't think these sets would perform as well as they did, and I'll discuss what I can do differently in the future so that I don't miss out on these great investments. I'll start off with 12 Grimald Place, set number 76408. It had an MSRP of $119.99 and had a 1 year and 7 month shelf life. Right now on Amazon, the buy box is at $224, and on eBay, it's selling for about $215. I've been surprised at just how high the price of the set has risen in just 6 months. The set did have very low supply on eBay and Amazon throughout its life. By using Keepa, a tool that shows past data for Amazon listings, we can see that it hovered around 10 third-party sellers for most of its life. Then on eBay, I remember it having around 60 listings, sometimes fewer, so there was no question for me that this set was a bit under the radar and undersupplied. The question was whether LEGO collectors were burnt out from buying Harry Potter. There's been a common sentiment I've seen in the LEGO investing space that Harry Potter is a washed theme and there's no demand for it. I bought into that mindset last year as well, but it looks like the market has overreacted. There's definitely still good demand out there for Harry Potter. It may not be as high as it once was, but because there were significantly less people investing in the theme, demand took over the supply on many sets that retired last year. I'll be talking about one more Harry Potter set in this video, but if you're unsure about this trend, I'd encourage you to just quickly look up every set that retired last year in this theme and see what prices they're selling at. I think you'll be pretty surprised. Jim Lee Batman Collection, set number 31205. It had an MSRP of $119.19, had a 1 year and 10 month shelf life, and right now on Amazon, the buy box is $219, and it's selling pretty consistently on eBay for about $195. We've had a handful of art sets retire, and most have just been okay for investing. The best have been the two music theme sets, the Beatles and Elvis. There has been one other superheroes art set, Iron Man set number 31199, that retired in 2021. It's at $225 on Amazon and selling for about $165 on eBay. I wrote this set off believing those prices were the ceiling for this set and that it would take years to get there. So if I wanted to double my money, I figured I would need to buy at 50% off. Of course, direct discounts like that aren't very common, and this set was never directly discounted for more than 25% off. That means I didn't buy this set. On eBay, supply was very low, around 30 sellers when I checked last year. By using Keepa, we can see that on Amazon, that supply was relatively low most of its life as well. It spiked in the summer and over Q4 last year, but that inventory dried up quickly. By taking a look at this second Keepa chart, we see that while there was a spike in sellers, their total inventory was very low. Only 400 sets were sold in the month of December, but that burned through quickly and the number of sellers dropped to just 3 by mid-January. This is another example of what can happen to a set when it's undersupplied when compared to the demand. If you're enjoying this video, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe to my channel. Next, we have set number 40469. This had an MSRP of $9.99 and had a fairly long 3-year shelf life. On Amazon, it's already going for $32, and on eBay, it's selling for about $24. I remember when this set was revealed, it was well received by fans. It was also a LEGO exclusive, which limited the supply. It sold well over MSRP throughout its life. I remember seeing it going for $18 on eBay and Amazon. This was one of those sets that I figured would be a fine investment purely because it was a LEGO exclusive. I thought $20 was a very realistic target for it to hit, but I was unsure of how much demand would be there for it. According to Amazon though, it's been consistently selling $50 a month since Q4. This is just a testament to LEGO exclusives. The limited supply puts them a step ahead of other sets. Most of them sell above MSRP throughout their shelf life, and when they retire, the price goes up from that point, rather than sets available at all retailers that have to start at or below MSRP. World Map, set number 31203, it had an MSRP of $249.99. It had a 2 year and 7 month shelf life, and on Amazon, the buy box is sitting at $440. On eBay, it's selling for about $390. This set caught many people off guard. The general sentiment among investors questioned who would want this set in the future. I was right there with them and just wrote it off without looking deeper into the numbers. If I had, I would have seen that there were very few sellers on this set throughout its life, and while the general sentiment around the set wasn't very high, we see on this Keepa chart that even before Q4, they were selling 400 sets a month, which is not bad at all for an unlicensed set this expensive. This is yet another example of why as LEGO investors, we need to put aside our personal bias and take a look at what the market is telling us the supply and the demand is. Hufflepuff House Banner, set number 76412, had an MSRP of $34.99 and only had a 10-month shelf life. On Amazon, the buy box is sitting at $47, and on eBay, it's selling a little bit more for around $48. Since the Harry Potter line of classes that can be displayed as books didn't perform especially well outside of a couple, many people wrote off this line of house banners as well. There also wasn't any continued collectability after last year, since all 4 house banners retired together. But again, if we look at the Keepa charts for Amazon, there were very few sellers throughout its life. We can see a huge spike in December, and that's because Amazon sold out in early December. Many people saw this opportunity to capitalize on the Q4 demand, and all that inventory sold through by the end of the month, which allowed for the price to rise significantly. The Ravenclaw and Gryffindor house banners are also doing well, but the Slytherin one is much farther behind. The reason is clear here when we look at the Keepa chart for the listing. Amazon had it in stock up until the middle of May, so that had significantly delayed the price appreciation. The difference in the burn down chart of the number of sellers between the Hufflepuff house banner and Slytherin is very telling. Lingering stock of retired LEGO sets is frustrating, and in my opinion, it's the biggest hurdle for LEGO investing in this current time. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can really do to prevent ourselves from buying a set that will have this issue in the future, other than continuing to buy sets at only the best prices so that you can insure yourself in case this happens to a set that you buy. The next 3 sets I'm going to group together since they're all very similar. We have the Monster Jam, Gravedigger, Megalodon, and El Toro Loco. They all 3 had an MSRP of $19.99. The first set had a 3-year shelf life, while the other 2 had a 2-year shelf life. The buy box on Amazon for the Gravedigger is currently sitting at $38. On eBay, it's selling for about $28. For Megalodon, the buy box is at $36 for Amazon. eBay, it's only selling for about $25. And El Toro Loco, Amazon buy box is $34, and eBay, it's selling for about $27. I've not been paying nearly enough attention to these Monster Jam sets. Those prices are great, but not only that, take a look at these sales numbers. $400 a month for El Toro Loco, $800 a month for Megalodon, and $1,000 for the Gravedigger. For retired sets, this is incredible volume, especially in the summer months. I blame myself for missing these. I didn't do thorough research into them because my bias from looking at past Technet sets told me that the theme is generally not the best for investing, at least in the short term. When looking at the charts for just the Gravedigger, for example, there were honestly a lot of sellers, but the sales volume chart really shows how high the demand was for the set on shelves. About 6,000 to 8,000 were sold per month before Q4, and then 20,000 a month during Q4. The demand is so strong for the set that even though there was a lot of supply, we've seen the price rise significantly. One interesting thing about these sets is that they really seem to not have the same amount of demand on eBay. The prices are lagging a considerable amount. That tells me that this sub-theme is similar to a Friends or City set. They don't have a ton of sales velocity on eBay, but a lot of parents shop on Amazon, which causes that platform to have better price appreciation for those themes. Unfortunately, the last 2 sets in the Monster Jam line are retiring at the end of this year, so there's no more continued collectability going forward. But I do think it will still be worth keeping an eye on them for investing. And the last set we have is the Paris Postcard, set number 40568. It had an MSRP of $14.99, a shelf life of 1 year and 5 months, and on Amazon it is selling for $59, and on eBay, $55. I talked about this set a lot over the past few months, but I couldn't leave it off this video just because of how well it's performed. It being a LEGO exclusive was a key factor for its success, low supply in investors' hands, but it was also the first in a sub-theme of LEGO postcards. We have New York, Australia, Beijing, London, and Japan all currently available right now. Anyone who wants to collect the whole line will have to go back to Amazon or eBay to get Paris, and that's what's happening here. Another factor that I think is at play is that the Olympics are coming up in Paris, so we may even see this set jump to even crazier prices shortly. The next postcards that retire will be worth watching for investing, but I wouldn't expect them to perform as well now that the secret is out. Alrighty, those are all of the sets I wanted to highlight in this video. The clear lesson I'm taking away from all of these examples is to not just write off a set because it's unpopular. Do research on the actual supply and demand numbers behind the set. It's also important to know your selling platform. not all sets perform well on each platform. If you only sell on eBay, I'd really be looking into how the sets you're wanting to buy for investing perform on eBay. Amazon data can be helpful too, but nothing will beat the sales data from the platform that you sell on. There are plenty more sets performing great that retired in 2023. I'd love to hear your comments down below of any sets that you've noticed went under the radar and are now performing really well for investing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like and subscribe to my channel for more weekly LEGO investing content. With that, thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, my videos are not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm only sharing my journey as a LEGO investor and encourage you to do your own research before buying any LEGO sets.